When you're making a movie in real life, before the movie starts, is you give them pictures of yourself at certain different ages, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60.
Michael Caine learned early, the loudest person on a set isn't the leader, the most trusted is.
Well, you all settled in? Right, we can begin.
The only reason I came back to this crap house.
Where'd you learn to do that?
File a claim with Lloyd's of London. I'd love to see what goes on.
His craft is rhythm, hit your mark, give your co-stars room to breathe, and let the scene carry itself. On the set, trust is everything. Rhythm, respect, collaboration. Break it, and the crack shows on camera. He will always be my Alfred in Batman, but he knows for so much more. Caine worked with hundreds and admired many, actor and director alike. But a few tested that trust hard, rivalries that bled into the frame, star gravity that bent the story, toxic rooms that poison the work, cold lessons you keep for life, and finally, a moral line you don't cross. Tonight, 5 collaborations that mark the boundary of his code. We look at evidence we have, and I made my own conclusion on why they made this list. Because cinema isn't survival of the loudest, it's an exchange. And an exchange only lives if everyone's listening.
Eric?
Good God.
Is he?
Jack Carter.
Eric Pace.
Get Carter was released on the 12th of March 1971, being one of British cinema's best gangster movies, but it had unwanted drama around. Initially, Henry was meant to get the main lead, but then the job went to Michael Caine. That shift, credit, gravity, pride, walked onto the set with them. I can imagine Henry was not all too happy about this and his ego was hurt. There is no doubt Henry had talent, but being replaced as the center point of the movie will have an effect on someone. One can only imagine the tension on the set between the two, with Henry knowing it should be him leading the show instead of Caine. Directors talk about using what's there. Get Carter became a seminar in that. If your partner's chaos is present, you don't act around it, you act with it. The director, Mike Hodges, used that reasoning to have Caine instead of Henry as the lead actor. Carter is such a psychotic. It was my first feature film and I just didn't think that any major star would take it on. And Ian was a terrific actor in my opinion. It just never ever occurred to me that someone of Michael Caine's stature would play it. When you have a director side with your replacement, the resentment comes about, made Caine uncomfortable in the filming of the movie, despite it being one of his best movies. It just goes to show how much of a pro Caine was, but deep down he hated that experience.
Am I good or am I good?
What's your name?
You know my name.
What's your name?
Who would have thought there is a movie with Caine and Stallone together, let alone a movie that also had the legendary Pele? Escape to Victory was a sports war movie from 1981, and I had never heard of the movie. From the cuts and coverage I've reviewed, the movie was built as an ensemble. POWs, plotting a match, and a breakout. When doing the research, you cannot find on surface issues, but below you could. One must look at the two main actors being Caine and Stallone, who had wildly different acting methods. I see two acting grammars colliding. Caine works in micro, eyes, breath, a fractional pause that invites you in. He plays the exchange. Stallone plays the charge. Frontal energy, mythic framing, the camera as amplifier. Caine lowers his voice to take the room. Stallone raises the moment to take the cut. In a team story, that difference matters. My read. Caine's rhythm wants give and take. Stallone's rhythm wants payoff. By the finale, the film is speaking Stallone's language, athletic, centered, and the ensemble's music gets quieter. When watching Caine's other movies, you can see that the tone of this movie is not his.
Faye Dunaway. Since finishing Hurry Sundown, she is one of Hollywood's brightest and most sought-after new talents.
Give me the damn thing, will you?
No, I'm not gonna let you go.
Diving into the research, she was regarded as a top new talent, but she had a toxic baggage with her. Director of Hurry Sundown Otto Preminger ran the movie Ike a Siege, Iron Hand, Public Dress Downs, Morale as a Weapon, Caine, Jane Fonda, Faye Dunaway, all working inside the weather made by one man's temperament.
The combination that exploded day after day.
Ain't never been anything like that in my side of the family.
First of all, Caine's southern accent was hilarious, being a British actor and all. Again, we look back at Caine's acting code. Acting is an exchange. A poisoned air supply changes the sound of every breath. Dunaway's clashes with Preminger were documented, lawsuits followed. The set's atmosphere became part of the film's texture, whether anyone wanted it or not. This was one of many incidents that Dunaway had, and her issues were well documented, but one could argue some of her conflicts were well justified, especially with how actresses were treated in those days. Caine would not want to risk tarnishing his roles with such toxicity, and did not partner up with her in any other movie. When the room is poisoned, even pros breathe smoke.
Mr. Jennings, has that man's family been...
So tell me more about the fire. What exactly did we lose?
What did we lose? We lost the rig.
File a claim with Lloyd's of London.
Where do I start? Firstly, this movie was god-awful, simply terrible. Secondly, Seagal literally has conflicts with everyone, so it's no surprise he is on this list. I still scratch my head thinking what was going through Caine's mind when he was doing this movie. He must have been getting paid serious money to put himself with the obnoxious Seagal and the terrible script of this movie. Honestly, believe that script was AI written even if AI was not invented back then. Caine has spoken of the shoot as a lesson filed under never again. Alaska looked majestic. The days felt endless. The set felt like separate islands, star, crew, co-star, orbiting more than exchanging. Caine's rule is discipline. You show up prepared, you rehearse, you respect the rhythm. When schedules fragment and authority lives in a single trailer, that rhythm dies. Seagal's way of doing things was clearly not in the realm of Caine's acting tenacity, and that's the reason why Seagal was disliked amongst many of those in Hollywood, including myself. I really cannot stand his movies. His acting was unauthentic and so poor, and it must have made Caine feel uneasy being with him on that set. In Caine's own words, he stated this movie was a mistake and a distant memory for him. He kept it professional, of course he did, but he also kept the receipt and he kept the principle. If the work isn't an exchange, it isn't the work.
Yes, yes.
Everything's okay.
Yeah. How are you?
All right.
How's Frederick?
Fine. Oh, we went to the Carter.
Hannah and her sisters was a pleasant surprise when watching the main clips and reading its in-depth analysis. I will be honest, I do not watch Woody Allen movies after the allegations of sexual abuse by his own adopted daughter. Back to the topic, Michael Caine won his first Oscar due to his supporting role, which I believe is one of Caine's biggest high list of his career. So one would think he is grateful to Woody for this, but years later, when the public record around Allen hardened into a cultural reckoning, Caine made a simple, unshowy statement. He wouldn't work with him again. You can hear the same ethics he keeps on a set. Responsibility to partner, to audience, to truth. He didn't retroactively regret the past, he drew a present line. I believe Hollywood has such poor boundaries on keeping out people like Woody until they are publicly called out. Safe to say, Caine's values shines through, and he made the right call in my opinion. In the following article, you can see his conflict on his principles, but he made his decision clear. Caine states he would not work with Allen again, charitable commitments noted elsewhere. I'm a patron of the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children and have very strong views about pedophilia, he continued, and I can't come to terms with it because I loved Woody and had a wonderful time with him. I even introduced him to Allen's former partner, Mia Farrow. Added Caine, I don't regret working with him, which I did in complete innocence, but I wouldn't work with him again. That's the code in public. Trust governs the exchange, on camera, off camera, and after the credits roll. Whether it was rivalry you can taste on film, a star's gravity bending a team movie, a tyrant director's poison, a freezing never again, or a moral line drawn in public, the team is one. Caine's legacy isn't the loudest take, it's the cleanest rhythm. He protects the exchange. I think that's why we can say we have the feeling he has good principles, not only as an actor, but as a person. He made the right choices for his career, and as a person to call out and avoid these people. Tell me your read. Where do you feel the rhythm break most clearly? Drop it below. If you want to see more content like this, drop me a like and comment, and follow me for quick updates.